Hello everyone, I'm Garrett Oakember. This is my review of the DarkSword Armory Ranger Sword. It is a beautiful 5160 carbon steel blade and absolutely a stunning weapon. Unlike my other swords, this feels like a real weapon. It actually has a weight that you would think and associate with something that could cause a lot of damage. Probably a few of you are wondering why my hair is so much shorter than the last time I got it cut. I didn't cut it with the sword. That is not something I did. I swear. It'd be very hard to do, but I probably would have cut it had my hair been as long as it was prior to this video. Because this thing is sharp. It's so nice though. Look at this. Look at this. And again, this is carbon steel, so don't get it wet. Ever. Do not get it wet. I have to say too, very nice job on the ring. The ring is beautiful. I love it. I love it. You got the ring completely 1000% correct. It is so nice. I was a little worried because some of the pictures show the leather being thicker than the ring. And I was like, no, that's wrong. The ring is thicker than the leather. But they got it right. They got it right. Also, these are a little sharp, so you don't want to hit somebody with this. There's more to a sword than a blade. Remember that. Yeah. It's insanely heavy, and it's beautiful. We're going to be taking a look at this and looking over some of the details. First of all, got the pommel, which is the perfume bottle shape. Again, this is based off Lord of the Rings, Aragorn's Ranger Sword, and it's just gorgeous. This pommel is heavy. It is a very nice counterweight to the rest of the sword, and I was wondering why they made the pommel a little slimmer than the original version. I don't know if that was because of licensing or whatever, but it's actually pretty damn dense. So it kind of makes sense that it's slimmer, because if they had tried to make it the regular proportions with the rest of the blade, this sword would be way too heavy for even me. And comes in a beautifully wrapped scabbard, leather, with a wood core, of course. Nice little butt cap there. And here's the blade. Mirror polished, too. There's a nice fuller. Oh, it is so stunning. It's actually hard to think of what I'm going to say about this. I was thinking about what I would say in this video about the sword. And there isn't much I can say other than showing you. Look at this thing. It's gigantic. But, strangely enough, still light. Very light in one hand. I mean, it's a little heavy. I gotta get used to the weight. I have not had the honor of holding a weapon like this. Something this well made, well constructed, solid. It's just beautiful. And I actually had to shoot this under a tree because the sun causes an intense glare on the blade and I can't see anything. I've been squinting all day looking at this thing in the light. It's a true mirror polish. And it's just beautiful. Truly befitting the sword it was based off of. Close up. There's some notable differences from the original Ranger Sword that Strider wielded in Lord of the Rings. For one, the secondary guard is missing. But, again, for added weight purposes, probably was better that they didn't include it. The notable kind of bullhorn flared guard is still there. honestly, they couldn't not put these on the blade and call it Strider's sword. The two most distinctive things about his weapon are parts of the crossguard there and the ring, which again, as Peter Jackson said, was they wanted to feel like the ring was still with the remnant of the Fellowship after Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli left to go, you know, pursue Isengard. I should say they pursued the hobbits, not Isengard.
Pudding.
This thing is like I said, it's light, but it's not light. It is pretty darn heavy. And I mean by light is, you'd think it would weigh more for its current size, but it's well balanced. It's well balanced. I know some videos of people, you know, putting their finger here and balancing it. I'm not going to do that because this thing is sharp, very, very sharp. It's my first real sharp sword, and I'm going to show you how sharp that is. Hello. I moved to the back because people see me swinging the weapon around. It might not fly very well. So I'm going to take this sword and I'm not going to destroy the railing, I swear. No, I'm going to destroy a box. It's a very light example of a cutting test. My God, that sun. It arrived today, so I'm doing this today. I'm going to destroy a box with it, and you're going to see how quickly it cuts through cardboard. Just a basic example. It is very sharp. I'm not going to do any crazy examples of chopping coconuts or watermelons or anything like that, or water bottles, because I don't want to damage the blade with rust. We're going to do a dry cut. Okay. Alright. With sword in hand, we're going to destroy a box. Problem is, I didn't think about how I was going to prop this up beforehand. Well, that is sharp. Yeah, that's some lacerating damage. So, the sword did in fact cut through it pretty nicely. It had trouble on one of the edges. Tried that before off camera, and then I deemed it way too dangerous. The box was already kind of damaged. It wouldn't stand up. I was hoping to stand it up and just chop it straight in half. It could chop it straight in half, but given the weird curvature, it did not have a chance, and I wasn't going to cut off my leg in the process. This was the initial stab we did. It's a, yeah, that's a pretty nice slice. Pretty good puncture. Goes all the way through to the other side. You probably won't be able to see my eye.
No!
But goes on through. We also have the slash here. Let's take a look at that here. It, yeah, perforated it and cut it open pretty smoothly. Kind of what you would see a large box cutter do. There was a lot of people on the internet saying that DarkSword Armory swords don't quite, well, they're not sharp. Well, that's because the European sword is not supposed to be as sharp as a katana. It's the katana syndrome. People want a sword to be as razor sharp as a katana. But this doesn't need to be. It's heavy. it has heft to it. When you swing it, momentum carries it and dishes out most of the damage. Swords were made to break armor, not cut a person's limbs off altogether. There were swords designed for that, called the Executioner's Sword. It has a rounded or a rectangular flat blade, basically a giant meat cleaver. This is a warrior's sword. This is a ranger's sword. This is a sword designed for battle, designed to break armor and then take out your opponent. It is beautiful. I'm in love with this sword. I've been in love with the sword since Lord of the Rings came out, and Aragorn has his weapon. You know, you get to see it for the first time. He pulls it out, and that's the camera and the lighting just capture the weapon. I was in love with it from the moment I saw that film for the first time, and it's so nice to be holding a faithful reproduction of it. And not only that, a carbon steel, a real Aragorn sword. It's so beautiful. You can get your own, a DarkSword, and I will be linking that in the comments below. Sorry if I seem a little aloof today. It's very hot out, and I've been up all day. Actually, wasn't waiting for this today. It's been a few days since the delivery date, and it wasn't late or anything. It's that they didn't ship it out until yesterday, but it arrived today. So I didn't expect it to be here for at least another 3-6 days, and it's here. Very nice. And now this is part of the video where we talk about, you know, what you can expect from DarkSword Armory. And so far, holding this, wielding it, swinging it, it's very nice. It's heavy, again, has a high polish. You can get it sharpened or unsharpened. I got it sharpened. I got it with the leather straps on the scabbard. You get a scabbard no matter what, but I wanted to be able to wield it at fairs, you know, hold it onto my belt and stuff like that. And you know, it's a long sword, but it's a very nice size for someone of my size. I am 5'4" and shrinking. Apparently, I used to be 5'5". I don't know how that happened. But this is a gorgeous weapon, and it's nice for someone of my size. I'm going to show you what it looks like when I wear it on the belt now. Hello, I'm Garrett Oakember. I'm back. Of course.
Thank you.
We're going to be looking at the belt now. So, it fits, and surprisingly, diagonally across, which is the way Aragorn wields it himself, and I like that. I like that a lot. The fact that I can grab it, pull it out, across, and I have the sword ready. Now, I am short again, so unfortunately, the scabbard kind of touches the ground a little bit. I'm going to have to pull this over my belly button up to my rib. And hopefully it's tight enough to stay there. I can feel it's a little bit loose. I may have to get the belt lengthened for my purposes. I'm not wide enough for it to sit there. But yeah, it's pretty nice, all intents and purposes. So if I'm like role-playing or doing some sort of video or something, might have to adjust this for those purposes alone. Otherwise, this is just a nice museum piece. A very sharp museum piece. A very beautiful museum piece. But the belt does kind of, yeah, touch the ground. It doesn't stay in that direction, and when the sword is in, you know, it'll do what it's supposed to do. When the sword isn't, it just goes limp, goes limp. It does the limp thing. But yeah, it's a beautiful weapon. It's so pretty. I'm just in awe of it. I know you're probably expecting more words out of my mouth about this thing, other than that it's gorgeous. It is a beautiful sword. I mean, look at this thing. Look how it just captures the light. Look at that. You know, I bought this coat a long time ago. Strider's coat. Hoping someday I'd have his sword to go with it. It's been years and years, and now I finally do. Next time I go to a Renaissance fair, I'm gonna have this in my belt. And yeah, I will say something about the belts though. This is both a good thing and a sobering thing. Let's get a good look at the belt here. So, again, the swords I already own are not nearly as thick and as well forged as this. So likewise, the belt has to be a higher quality than the ones I'm used to. When I first put this sword, or tried to put it in, because it's not inside the scabbard when you receive it. It is in a separate protective enclosure, and then you unwrap it, and then you put it in the belt. Let me tell you, I thought I was doing something wrong, because the scabbard was sealed shut. The reason is it had never been container to the sword just yet. It was made as is, and you have to actually press the sword inside. I was worried not only for breaking the scabbard, but for how sharp this weapon is. When I had it sharpened, I was worried I was going to cut through the side of the scabbard into my hand as I was holding it. Rest assured, that shouldn't happen. I'd advise a level of caution the first few times you put it in and take it out. Get used to the dimensions of the weapon. Again, if you're going to be using a sword either for SCA purposes, museum, roleplay, looking as a character, whatever you do, you should be equipped to handle said weapon. You shouldn't be wielding something that you couldn't possibly wield in reality, because you will hurt yourself. And I have a few swords, limited knowledge of different ways of wearing them, things like that. What I know is this style of weapon, so I was very cautious. But I mean, once you've got all that knowledge, once you've got all that experience, otherwise you know what to expect. It comes in and out now a lot smoother. It's not wearing down the scabbard though. It's not wearing down the scabbard. And as a fan of the series, you know, like seeing the differences between this weapon and the one that Aragorn actually wields, I'm not too disappointed in the differences, especially, least of all, not the scabbard itself. The scabbard itself is really well made. It's not the most important part of the weapon. And the main attraction for Aragorn's original scabbard is that it comes with an attachment for his elven knife and his cooking hunting knife, which is a little tiny thing. And it goes along the side there. This does not have that, although you can attach a dagger scabbard to these. These do have that option to do that. I didn't get a dagger with this, unfortunately. If I'd bought it a few months ago, I could have gotten one for free. I didn't have the money for that. Obviously, this is a nicety. This is not something I'm going to get all the time. I will definitely buy from them again. DarkSword did a very good job on this. So yeah, let's take that out for another hero shot, as they call it. Look at that thing. Gorgeous. It's pretty. Hello. So, this is the review of the DarkSword Armory Ranger Sword. And they even have their own little maker's mark there. It's a griffin. It's pretty. The pictures on the website don't do the sword justice, unfortunately. I think they should get more high-resolution shots of it. It is a kingly weapon. Well, it's not supposed to be his king's sword, obviously. But it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Did I do that? There's a tree branch down. Oh no. I might have accidentally butchered our tree here. I hope not. I'm gonna feel really bad. I don't see any marks though on the sword, so it can't have been me. Just coincidental. I look up and directly over here, there is a tree branch that's down. Yeah, so thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this, let me know in the comments below. You want to see more Arms and Armory. I do want to go over my collection in full someday. As for this Ranger leather, the Aragorn outfit, it works really well with the scabbard and the sword. The sword, the dimensions are up to the same size. You know, it's a little bigger than Aragorn's original sword. It's a little bit meatier. It's not too much meatier, but it's definitely meatier. Like, I think the blade is wider, which is a good thing. It's very intimidating. And the outfit itself allows for it to slip between, you know, the riding frill. It's beautiful. It's nice. Definitely going to get another sword from them in the future. It's gorgeous. But yeah, I want to know what you think. If you want to see more Arms and Armory stuff in the immediate future, I'll try to get that out as quickly as possible. I've been really... Excuse me, tree. Gotta know the full dimensions of the blade. This sword is a little long. It's classified as a bastard sword, hand in half, because you have the ability to put your hands on it. Although technically you could say it's a two-handed sword, but you don't need two hands to wield it. I'm gonna have to get used to wielding it in one hand though. I'm not trusting myself with full one-handed swirling and stuff like that. I'm a pretty good spar, reenactor fighter, but I don't wanna whip this around until I'm fully comfortable with it. Because you can feel the weight in this blade. It's got a beautiful edge to it too, and that's not something I would want inside of anyone, least of all not me. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let's not cut off our hand, please. There we go. What I said about learning where the weapon is. Learning all that stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you later. Bye.
Way down beneath the rocks and stone, it was sleeping till Scarlet broke its slumber. Rise now and break the world you knew once more. Screaming from the glade to the cursed shore.